Hey, all doing is Dell with Indian Reviews, and today I wanted to review a water distiller that I purchased. It's right here. It's pretty big. You'll see right here, and when it comes in the mail, and the package is gonna be unplugged, and this just comes off right here. Lose a little arm strength. I do want to note real quick that this does have a filter. Let me see if I can get it off real quick. It has a charcoal filter in there. It comes in there already. Of course, it's wet because I've been using it. And so just be mindful of that. When you get it, it's not hard to take off. The one that I ordered, it does not come with a extra charcoal filters. Do you need to use the charcoal filters? You could probably get by without using them, but for some reason, I'm sure they put it in there for a reason. And I also bought a cleaner that came with it. I'm sorry, it did not come with it. I bought this separate as a cleaner. And really what that does is, let's see. The more you distill water in your water distiller, and really what it does, you can use tap water. You can use spring water if you like, but that probably would be a waste for you just to buy spring water, just to put it in here and distill it. Because when it distills it, it basically removes all the metals out of the water, both good and bad. So you can just use tap water. We know that tap water, I ordered a water tester earlier today right here, and to actually test the quality of my water right here. The back, it tells you the different levels right here. It just comes off. I realized that I brought up the water tester, but I didn't actually go over like the fact that I tested the water or what the results was of me testing the water. So I was like, let me go ahead and just talk about that real quick, real briefly, because I realized that I don't want to be someone who brought up the water tester but didn't actually mention the results that I got. I have the notes on my phone. I'll put up a picture of the different colors on the back of the water tester. It has different colors and a number range to let you know if the water's safe, good quality, great quality, moderate, not so good, not drinkable. So I'll put that picture up above while I'm talking so you can see that picture and have a point of reference so you can say, okay, this is what you're talking about. So let me talk about so right here, I tested 5 water samples with the water tester. Versus, I'll go down the list to the worst. And on the water tester, the back, it has like excellent, good, moderate, elevated. So I'll just talk about that real quick. The number one, the first one as far as best water quality was the distilled water. The distilled water came up as excellent. Filtered water, Deer Park water, refrigerator filtered water, and tap water. And real quick, the distilled water is what I made from the water distiller. The filtered water, me and my wife, in our area, they actually have a place where you bring your own bottles, whether you purchase them or whether you get them from somebody. Assuming you purchase them, we purchased ours from Walmart.com. 5-gallon water jugs that come with screw-on tops, and we didn't want. Originally we wanted to get the Deer Park, but their monthly subscription was about $35-40. I was like, you know what, that's a bit too much to be paying for water. So we actually found a cheaper solution in our area. You can actually fill up a 5-gallon jugs of water for $2.50, and it's filtered water. It also goes through reverse osmosis. I'm sure you guys have seen the machines before, probably Walmart or some kind of grocery store. I'm sure you've seen them before. So that's what I mean when I say filtered water. We have a water cooler. It's bottom fed, so you put the 5-gallon water jug at the bottom of it, and you close it, and it sucks the water up, and you can have hot water, warm water, or cold water. So that's just kind of the rundown. Deer Park water. You all know what Deer Park water is. Deer Park water is what it sounds like. It's Deer Park water. It's store-bought spring water in Deer Park. Then I have refrigerator filtered water, and that is just any of you guys who have a refrigerator with an ice maker, and it also does water. We have that, so it spits out water. So those refrigerators usually require you to put a filter in every so often. But usually your refrigerator lets you know when you have to replace them. We have a whirlpool, so usually when it's time to replace the water filter, there will be a light on our refrigerator that says H2O, and it'll be red, which means that it's time to replace the filter. Next is tap water. So tap water that comes out of your sink, water that comes with that you bathe with, that you use to brush your teeth. Fun fact: I actually stopped using tap water when I brushed my teeth to gargle with, because the numbers were just like not good. The number one best water as far as quality to drink was distilled water. That was number one. I think it was like it was very low. I'm not gonna guess, but it was very low. It was low, almost close to zero. So distilled water was the number one best water to drink. The next that I tested was the filtered water that you go into the machines at the refrigerator. I'm sorry, that you go at the grocery stores and you put in your own 5-gallon jugs and you refill the water. Those machines have a card reader. You use a card reader for a credit card or whatever. So, and they also you just put your water in there, and once you click they either do a gallon or 5 gallons. Once you click either 5 gallons or a gallon, the water comes out, and that is filtered water, and is also reverse osmosis. That was the second as far as the best drinking water. It was I think that was also single digits as well. The next was Deer Park water. Deer Park water was in the teens. I tested the Deer Park water. It was in the teens. So that's also good. The fourth option, so Deer Park was 3, distilled water was 1, filtered water was 2, Deer Park was 3. Number 4 is refrigerator filtered water. So like I said, I have the whirlpool. Every so often you got to change out the filter. Mine's at the bottom of the refrigerator. You got to change them out. They cost about $49.99 or $50. Sometimes you can find them cheaper on Amazon for like $50. You catch it on sale. So that was the fourth best option as far as drinking water, and that number was it was about 100 something. So it's good. So I'm sorry. The distilled water, because I forgot this, I left this part out. The distilled water on the back of the water tester, it has a number in it, and either say excellent or whatever. So distilled water was excellent, and it tells you that the number range for excellent water is between 0 and 50. The filtered water, which is coming, what you put in the 5-gallon jugs that you refill on your own, that was excellent water, is between 0 and 50. Deer Park water is also excellent. It's between 0 and 50. Refrigerator water, which was rated as good, is between 51 and 150. So that's good. That's good. Tap water, well, of course, you all could guess, was the worst. Tap water is actually elevated, meaning elevated minerals, and that could mean that some of the stuff that they put in the tap water or use to filter it, or that they actually add to it, some of the metals that are in that water are not good for you. It's not good for your body. When I actually just I googled elevated water tester and put the numbers in. It was like, yeah, these waters are not good for your body. Some of the minerals, the body just is not meant to digest. So if you're someone who drinks tap water, I would seriously look at just buying some spring water, or maybe doing the route we did, which was buy your own 5-gallon jugs off Walmart or Amazon, and go find somewhere in your local city. I'm sure they have a water purified water machine there. Pay $250, and get your own water. It's safer. So tap water was elevated, and the number range for elevated is 301 to 500. So again, not something you really want to be drinking if you have a choice. And I just wanted to again add this part of the video to this, because I know I brought it up. The people that I hate when people bring something up but don't actually talk about it or go in depth about it. So I wanted to go in depth about it. So that's just really what I wanted to say as far as the video. I have been consuming distilled water. I drink distilled water now. I've kind of switched to drinking distilled water. So again, thank you, and let's get back to the video. But right here in my water distiller, you can see it's got some gunk at the bottom, right? Can you see? And it looks like burnt spots, but really from the videos that I watched online is that every once a month the manual instructs that once a month you clean it, and you just fill it up with tap water. You put 1 cap full of the detergent in there. This is made specifically for limescale buildup, removes minerals in the bottom that are stuck. So you just fill this up with tap water. You put one scoop of that in there. You let it sit for about half an hour. And what it does is it removes all the gunk at the bottom that comes from the heavy metals from the water that you're distilling. And basically it looks brand new. So it removes all that gunk. It's just metals from the water. As you distill the water, is metals that are in the water, and it gets stuck to the bottom, and I guess it becomes embedded in the actual bottom. And even if you try to scrub it, it won't come clean. So I think it's good that this solution has a certain chemical in it that gets those metals up. I will say in between time, whenever I clean it, I just use vinegar and water, and I have a soft pad right here in my kitchen. I use a soft pad right here. It's soft on both sides. You don't want to use anything like this right here that has a rough side, because it can scratch the stainless steel inside this, and that of course can cause it to incur rust. I'm sure over time it will rust. I have no doubts about that. But that's just one thing you would just want to be mindful of, is that when you clean this, just vinegar and water, and scrub the edges of it, because it'll be like some gunk buildup at the bottom as well. It's just the heavy metals from the tap water that you use, and then I just get a rag or a paper towel and dry it out. And you want to make sure that when you're done with this, you do want to dry it out so that rust doesn't build up. I'm sure it wouldn't happen overnight, but I'm sure over time, if you just got in the habit of just letting the water sit in here for a day or two, then there could be a problem. Now, I think that what I do now is I actually put it takes about 4.5 hours to distill, and the one I have is 1.5 gallons, and the actual bottle is right here. And so it's about a 1.5 gallons. You can see 1.5 gallons. So the one that I have is 1.5 gallons. It's 6 liters. They do have some that's just 1 gallon, but I wanted about the biggest ones I could find, apart from having to spend because I know they do have some that's that does like 4 or 5 gallons a day, but those of course cost thousands of dollars, So I think this would be perfect for someone who has any kind of medical devices that require water. Me and my wife, we have cold mist humidifiers in our home. We have one in our kids' room and one in our bedroom, and it does about 1 gallon. It takes about 1 gallon. So roughly, if you have it on high, it could use over 0.5 gallon in a night. We usually keep it on low, so we can use 1 gallon of water, distilled water, and probably get about 3 nights out of it, 2 if we're lucky. But that's just one of the things I wanted to mention. So if you have medical devices, and if you have cold mist humidifiers, and I know some baby formulas also require distilled water. So but I think that I would say that if you're using distilled water for baby formula or baby bottles, I wouldn't buy a distiller. I would just buy the water. Probably cheaper, because after you're done after your baby grows out of the formula, then what are you going to do with the distiller? If you're actually just buying it to distill the water for the baby and have for the formula, once it's actually the baby grows out of formula, then you just have a distiller sitting in your kitchen. So I would just buy distilled water. If I had an infant, I would just buy distilled water. I think it'd be cheaper. I will say that before I got this distiller, I prepared by buying distilled water bottles, and I'll say I probably spent a little under $20, if not 20, a little over 20, for about 8 gallons of distilled water. I got one was 2.5 gallons right here. Of course, it's all gone. It's a Deer Park. No, it's not Deer Park. It's Pure Life. It's about $5.29, and some of the rest were like $1 some change. And then the other ones, I went to the store the second week, and they didn't have the cheap brand. They had a more notable brand, so there was like $2 and change. So I ended up spending again about probably I'll say about 20, a little over $20 for 8 bottles of distilled water. So this cost me $99 on Amazon. I'll make sure I leave a picture of the name up there. I don't really remember the name, but I'll have it in the title as well. Give or take, I've used all those bottles of distilled water between now and 2 weeks ago. So since then, I've just been distilling water. Over the weekend, I distilled about 3 gallons a day, meaning I ran this twice, because it does 1.5 gallons. So I run it twice. If you're just home chilling, that's fine. I also run it overnight. This is my water distiller. I just had it running. Just want to show you real quick. This model distills 1.5 gallons, and basically you just put tap water in from the sink right here, and you fill this up right here, and then you pour it in here. And I'm gonna open it up. It was running. I'm doing this video right now because my kids are asleep. Usually they're up running around, so be a bad idea to do it when they're up. But this one is really suction. It's not really too hard. It doesn't like screw in there. It's more so held together by suction. You just got to take it out, pull it up. Does take a little arm strength. You can see, like I said, you see right now. And I like how you can see at the bottom right there, all the crud, and even right here you can see the water's kind of cloudy, and that's really just the condition of the tap water. And right here it has a full line. I'm gonna put it back on right now. Got water everywhere, but basically you just put it on. And right here, this comes off. You just put it on, and you slide it right here so that it's flush to the thing. You plug this right here in. And I'll say, like, you know, when you put this on, just make sure that the cord is straight or flush to the machine. It doesn't gotta be perfect, but as long as you're able to plug this in, and basically you just flip this right here on, and then you come on this side right here, and usually you gotta match the button, but because it was already on, it kind of kicks on by itself. Usually when you first cut this button right here on, you have to come on this side and press this button to cut it on. But because it was already hot, I guess the machine kind of senses that it was already distilling. So that's kind of a thing. But yeah, nice little thing to have. If you have cold mist humidifiers in your house, if you have any kind of medical machines that require distilled water, if you have any kind of, I know some baby formulas require distilled water, but yeah, definitely a good thing to have. Using like tap water or spring water and cold mist humidifiers or humidifiers, diffusers, it actually can shorten the life of the device. Now, will it do it in about 2-3 years? I'm sure not, because we've had about 2-3 years now. So I'm sure it won't, but I'm sure like as maybe you might have gotten 5 to 7 years out of it. Maybe you might get 3 to 4 years out of it. So is it really a big deal? No, maybe to some it is when things are getting more expensive. So what you paid for it 2 years ago might probably be a lot more 4 or 5 years from now. So I think that, you know, if that can help in that regards, save the life or prolong the life of one of my devices, and why not use it? Two, one of the reasons why I also switched to distilled water, I was reading, and let me just say this before I say this. I think that anybody out there, I bought it because I started drinking distilled water. I think that anybody who decides to go that route, I think you should probably check with a professional first, your doctor or whatever, and just kind of just know, you know, just understand the pros and cons to it. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know anything about that, but I know I researched on my own behalf, and I saw that distilled water actually helps people who have arthritis, people who have kidney stones, because, you know, oftentimes a lot of the water and stuff and things that we eat have a lot of metals in them. Even some of the tap water, they have a lot of metals. Allegedly, the distilled water can help with arthritis and kidney stones. And what it does is, in a nutshell, and to be honest with you, before I bought this distiller, I did my research, and I actually didn't know distilled water was actually drinkable. I know some of you in the comments might laugh at me, but I didn't know distilled water was drinkable. I only ever knew it was used for batteries and things of that nature. I never even thought about using it for baby formula. So I didn't know, because me and my wife, since we've had our home, we've always had a fridge with a water filter. We also have a water cooler over here as well. So we've always just used that. So I think for me, one of the things that I noticed from drinking distilled water for 2 weeks is that my energy levels shot up. That's one of the things that I noticed. And one of the things that upon my research, one of the things that I read is that what distilled water actually does is it actually removes the both good and bad metals from your body. Of course, if you drink tap water, if you're in an area where you drink tap water and you don't have the resources or the financial resources to buy water, like me and my family do, then you probably of course drink tap water. But tap water has a lot of minerals in it. It's very rich in minerals, and a lot of those minerals are not really easy for the body to digest. That's just something to be mindful of. So distilled water, it does remove metals out of your body, both good and bad. But I also read that if you're someone who eats pretty healthy, if you eat a well-balanced diet that consists of veggies and fruits, then you'll be fine, because the metals from the water, of course, gets to the good metals now, and the bad ones as well. But they get in the fruits and vegetables because of the roots. So you're actually fine. You'll get those minerals if you eat fruits and vegetables. If you're somebody who has a diet that's based off processed food, I would say there are things that you can buy to add to the distilled water. Water minerals or Himalayan salt would actually help with that as well. But again, do your own research before you decide to do this, like I did. This is just one of the reasons why I decided to buy a distiller, because if you're someone who is planning on drinking distilled water for a long period of time, it can become very costly just buying distilled water. That's that I bought a 2.5 gallon right here. It was like over $5. So it's like, what if I'm buying a few of these a week? You know, it easily could become $20 a week, and you figure that in a month, that's like what, over $20 in a month. So why not just buy a distiller for $99, and about a month, another month or two, it would pay for itself. Again, it was $99 on Amazon. I will leave a picture of this brand up above right here in the video so you can see that. I think that one of the things that I appreciate about social media and just modern technology is that we have a vast of information that's now coming out. And a lot of it also too, I don't know if it's new information, maybe it's new to us, but we're also learning a lot about different plants and things even things that we have in our house that we've had for years, but never actually thought about using it to help with certain things, like turmeric. If you put a teaspoon of turmeric in water, it can actually help with inflammation in the body. You know, I've used turmeric for years when I was a kid. We never thought about drinking it outside of putting it in some food for seasoning. But a lot of things, a lot of this knowledge have become available to us because of social media and modern technology, medicine, as things kind of evolve, and as a lot of these colleges, these medical colleges continue to do research on things, they find new ways, and they find out that new things that we have in our home we've always had is actually helpful for us and helpful to our body. So I think that, again, distilled water consumption is probably something you may want to look into. I think it'd be worth your time. I saw quite a few YouTube videos with people who actually had switched to distilled water permanently, and they saw wonderful results. And so I just wanted to try it myself. And again, if it doesn't work, what do I actually lose? Maybe you become a little mineral deficient, if you know, at the least, and you can just go back to drinking spring water. You know, I mean, and I will say I primarily drink distilled water when I'm at home. My job, they provide us with spring water bottles, and we get a pallet of it every so often. So when I'm at work, I do drink the spring water. So I guess I will be getting some minerals from drinking the spring water. But for the most part, I just do want to be clear. Distilled water essentially is just pure H2O. It's water without minerals, is all it is. Distilled water, again, distilled water is just water without minerals. It's just pure H2O. It doesn't have any minerals in it. Like when you see the spring water or the alkaline water, those waters have different minerals in it that are actually good for the body. Tap water, of course, does have good and bad minerals in it. But the problem with tap water is the way that it's treated. It's not really recommended for you to actually drink out of the faucet in most places. Are there people who drink tap water because they may not have other water supplies, or can't afford it? Of course, we know that. So I mean, I drank tap water for years when I was a kid. So I think, you know, that's just something just to be knowledgeable about. But I just wanted to talk about this real brief. Therefore, any reviews. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Leave a comment. Please like the video. Leave a comment, even if it's okay. Just leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. It helps the channel out a lot. If you want to share the video, of course, it would help my channel. Again, if you share the video, I would appreciate that a lot. So next time, oh yeah, I'm sorry, before I end. So I mentioned that this does come with a filter already on it, as I just showed you right here. You just pull this off and the filter comes out, a charcoal filter. It does not come with any extra filters besides the one that's in the water thing that drips the water. So you have to buy the distiller solution to clean it once a month yourself. This is about I think 15 bucks. And I also bought a pack of charcoals to put in there. Now I will say it's a pack of 100. These are actually smaller than the one that comes with it, a lot smaller. So I'll probably just put 2 of these in there, 2 or 3 of these in there, probably just 2. But so you can, but this is a pack of 100. I got off Amazon for $9.99. So I think that you can just look for that. You can just Amazon or Google charcoal filters for distillers, and you can also just Google water distiller cleaner and water distiller charcoal filters, and that stuff will come up in Amazon for you. You can just go and purchase it like I did. Just get the 100 for $9.99. They're smaller, but you can just double them up, and it's cheaper. You can just use 2 of them instead of 1, and put it in the water distiller. There from any reviews. And you guys for watching the video. Till next time, peace.